Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jonas Anthony, CH Melchett, and I have something very different for you tonight. I know I always say that, but I try to make videos different so I don't just repeat myself. But tonight here, I'm going to bring you something. I was contacted by the PBS clan, by their head, Frank, and he asked me if I would be interested in doing like a coaching session with the PBS guys, talking about like what kind of tactics I use and if I thought they could do anything different, because I commentated their previous game against Deed's Troll Factory. I thought that could be pretty funny. I've never done anything like that before, so I said yes. I recorded the whole session that lasted about an hour, both with me going through the map Firebase Georgina, and also we had some questions and answers at the end. For anybody with a lot of experience, this might not be that interesting, but if you're kind of new to the game or you're just curious how this is going to turn out, it might be something worth watching. There is a couple of things. This is, of course, wasn't planned that heavily. I knew kind of what I was talking about, but I was, of course, not talking out of any script. People asked a lot of different questions, and I tried to answer after the best of my abilities, and we kind of took it a bit of an improv on the questions and answers, and I tried to give them some of my top pointers on what I see like most people could improve on. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this. If you out there yourself have a bit of a group and you would like something like this, don't hesitate to reach out for me. I think it's quite fun. And, let me know down below what you think. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye. So, Georgina is a very, very special map, especially A point here. So, normally, if you're defending this, I would almost never defend A point because of how fucking glitchy it is. First of all, if you start running over here on the attacker's right-hand flank, first, when a lot of people spawn up here in the... they spawn up on the back, most people run across here. If you ever watched Gylle and Skark and those guys, right? Yeah. Most people run over here and build a tunnel right here. And the reason why you build a tunnel right here is that if you look here, if you come through the bushes and, for example, find this tree right here, or any of these trees right here, you can kind of see what happens, right? If you try and stand here, stand in the trees, you can look at, if I run out here into the middle, look at us standing up here. How many times have you seen squad leaders behind this rock, right?
Every time.
So if you stand over there in those trees, what do you think you can do? You can basically shoot anybody in here, right? So if the attackers control this flank over here, you can basically shoot up anybody in here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it does.
So as defenders, so if you want to counter this, right? If you want to stop people from doing this, try and follow me up here. As defenders, it's super important that you get people in these trees right here. Do you see what I mean? If you pop out here and kind of hide in here, you can sometimes spot the people down there that's going to be shooting your guys behind the rock. Okay? Yep. So that's super important to counter that. There's also the little knoll over here that most people actually know about. When you spawn, you can basically run right up here. So for example, if you take a machine gun, right? You can lie right here and shoot those guys behind the rock almost. If you've ever tried it. So if you kind of look over towards the trees where we were standing before, right?
The sniper.
Yeah, the sniper, whoever, you can start shooting at those guys. So when defending, I wouldn't defend A point most of the times. If you don't want to delay them, I wouldn't defend A. As well, if we go over here, this is also a side that people really like, especially for defense. I want to show you something here. One of the most glitchy ass spots right here. Not glitchy, but just super important spots. If you lie right here, you remember all people, when they're running into the cap zone, you can see them in the open. If you lie here, so this area around here with the bushes, right? If you lie right here, imagine if you're coming in from the spawn zone, you have to see somebody lying here, and you can just basically shoot everybody inside the cap. So if you control this side and control the side over around the trees, you can really gun down the defense or the attackers, right? If that makes sense.
That's why, sorry that I interrupt, but when I play as the attacker and snipe, I always lay like down, when you look in the straight line across Alpha from here, there is this little, I would say, wheel for water. And behind that, these bushes on that ridge, I always lay down and I can snipe over complete Alpha from there.
One of the most important things when you are attacking a point like this, if we go in here to the middle, never lie down inside the cap.
No, never.
I'm gonna say that a lot.
Easy to shoot that.
If you jump in here and think, oh, right now I'm getting in the cap, I'm just gonna throw myself down and lie here. What do you think is gonna happen? You're gonna get a hand grenade in your face and you're gonna be dead. So never ever use hand grenades, or never lie down in here, and always push forward. If you get killed, that's fine, but push forward. Regarding so this map is basically simple. Control those flanks, get squads out on both flanks, and control that, and you can cut them off in the middle. If we go to B,
let's cap Alpha.
Yeah, somebody cap Alpha.
So can somebody record this? It's gonna be useful.
Yeah, I'm taking notes, Frank.
Okay. Or if it's somebody records.
Yeah, I'm recording it, so you can just get it afterwards.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
US, get out of the point, please.
Yeah. So
let's get on.
So B point. First of all, a lot of people like the underground tactic, right? So people run down into the underground chamber and stand down there, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend this at all. I would perhaps, you can have one guy down there or the commander down there, that's fine. But otherwise, it's a death trap. What do you think happens if I come up here and throw a Molotov cocktail down there?
You want to get out.
Yeah, so people can't get out, so you're all caught inside the underground, right? What happens if I run down like with a rifle grenade, right, and hip fire the rifle grenade in there? That's gonna kill.
Anyone got Molotov?
Yeah, everybody's gonna get killed. So it's so dangerous doing that. Also, if you look at the map, you can see there's actually the entrance of the tunnel is marked on the map, right? So if you're playing VC, you can use rifle grenades to drop them right here on the exit. Right here, you can drop them, so you can basically block everybody off from getting out. So I wouldn't use it. Places you need to have people. I'm gonna show you some spots. The most important stuff where everybody likes to attack this map from is from this right-hand side. And what people like to do is people like to all the boys, you know, I talked about before, they like to go down there by the rock by Alpha, and then they push all the way up here on the flank. You can look on the map, and they get up here. So good places to put tunnels right here. If somebody can dig a tunnel, you can actually dig a tunnel right here in this crater. So this crater here is super important. Also,
and the water doesn't matter for making a tunnel here, by the way.
That's just a water bug. Ignore that.
Yeah.
No.
You can
okay, that way.
So you can dig a tunnel here. Also, US squad leaders, super important to hide here. And the most overpowered spot up here is right here. This burning log right here. If you look at this, if I'm standing here, I can shoot anybody in the tree line. I can shoot anybody flanking over here. And most important, look into the middle. If you come up here and take my place, you can look straight into the middle and shoot anybody crossing. So when you play this map, you always need to have somebody standing right here.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you guys see it? That you can shoot basically any direction from here and you have super nice cover.
Yes.
Also, these craters are super good from working at. So you can crouch down, stand up, bang, bang, shoot guys there in the same side. So that's super important. If the enemy thinks that they're going to be flanking out here, don't worry about enemies flanking out there. Because if the enemy tries that, I would always recommend having a couple of guys up here in the forest. Because if you're up here in the forest, you can basically be standing right here up in the forest and shoot anybody trying to cross the field out here. So does that make sense? So you have a close defense, like guys down by the log, and in that area, then you have people up here protecting their side.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
So this means that you're gonna lock down anybody trying to get across. So there's no reason to have anybody out there, because if you have people out on the far left flank, it's gonna be almost impossible for your for them to react to run into the cap if the enemy starts capping.
Yeah, that's true. I've experienced that.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't want to get caught out there. Down here, like basically all the craters are good for squad leaders, because a squad leader is going to be standing here, and I'm going to say this a lot of times, the most important thing when you spawn with a squad leader, what do you guys think that is?
Stay alive.
Get away from the squad leader. If you have any worth, you noticed last time I commentated your game, what I said a lot, get away from the squad leader. Never sit next to a squad leader and then sit here and say, oh, I'm gonna shoot here with the squad leader, because you're gonna attract attention and you're gonna make it vulnerable for the squad leader to actually stay in the fight. So what you do, if I spawn right here, whoop, I spawn immediately, I'm gonna run, and you can perhaps run up to the next crater, then sit here. There's no reason to sit next to your squad leader.
It's your mobile spawn point.
Exactly. So you want to get away from him as fast as you can.
Okay, what about Arty? When the Arty hit, we got all SL died.
Yeah, so if the SL dies, that's why you're gonna have your SL spread out. That's why I talked about having a SL by the burning log, having a SL back there, and also you can match that on the other side of the cap zone.
But is it like a general thing to not stay with the squad leader?
Never stay with the squad leader.
Like never, like in general.
Never.
We still have like one side on the control.
Yeah, so there's no reason. There would never be an advantage of staying close to the squad leader.
But you always like have the tendency to. He has the lead, so you always have the tendency to stay like a bit close to the squad leader.
Yeah, but that's why you have voice comms. You can just talk to each other. There's no reason to be able to look him in the eyes like he's just.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because look at it. If you try and look at the two guys over in the crater here, there's no way that they're gonna survive a hand grenade close to the crater.
True.
Right? There's no way they're gonna... And if they stand down there and I come jumping down here, it's super easy just to blast both of them. Like, it's... Look, if you just stand still in the crater, try and look at this, guys. Come over here and look. How many of you guys can miss those two guys down there? Nobody. Like, it's so easy killing both of them.
From up here,
Yeah, so if the guy with the sunglasses, if you try and run over to the next crater, try and run to the next crater besides, so try and leave one guy in the crater and run across. So look at this. If I come up here now and then shoot the guy down the crater, bang, 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 then the guy next to that guy, he's gonna shoot me instantly. Makes sense? So
makes sense.
So you can trade, like you have to think about it. We need to trade the kills. So if I kill one of your guys, then I need to get killed instantly. So that's why you spread out. The same thing goes for the commander. Never stand around with your radio man next to you. The radio man needs to come to you, then you use him like the little puppet he is. You use him, and then he goes away.
Okay.
Because there is never a reason for the radio man to be standing next to you. You call in what you need to call in, and then you get him in the fight. Sorry?
Not even doing recon?
Of course, if you're doing recon, otherwise the radio is gonna...
Then stay for the minute and then move
then go away. But as I said, when you're done using him, when he served his purpose, there's no reason for you to be standing together, because, again, he's a vital asset, especially when you're attacking. You know, the radio man actually has a smoke grenade, right? So you're actually keeping a smoke grenade out of the fight. Another spot I want to show you up here that's actually pretty fun is right here on this burning log right here. You can lie right here.
Yeah.
And they shoot everybody coming in. So if you see people coming across the ridge, they're super difficult to spot you here. If you try and go to the other side of the log, there's nobody gonna spot me. And I can shoot all these guys, up there, that's come across. You can just blast everybody coming across up there. So this is a super, super, super nice spot to lie at. Again,
see it,
the craters down here also good. You just take your hand grenades out. Boom. Just nade the shit out of them when they come across. So these craters up here needs to have people in them as well. And one thing you guys need to practice is when somebody sees a force respawn, right? The first reaction everybody needs to have is throw your hand grenades at it.
What's that?
Does that make sense? So if somebody says... Yeah, an ambush. So somebody says an ambush. Hey, ambush front, right? So somebody says ambush front. Everybody knows this out here by the craters. So everybody at the back just runs forward, throws the hand grenades over, and you're gonna kill half the ambush. So your immediate action drill needs to be ambush equals hand grenades. So that's pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
Back here, back here, there's a lot of good craters up here. Like I would always just make sure you spread out your squad leaders out in the different craters, and they just stay alive. Up here, there's actually some pretty good tunnels as well you can get. I would say this flank over here is a little more important than the other one. Actually placing your traps, your tunnels back here, for example. Placing tunnels back here.
Somebody cap the point there.
Yeah, somebody go cap it. It's fine.
Van the US leave it.
Yeah, so this side is quite good. And always, as I say, remember to place your traps. Because what's the rule about the traps? It's 3 kills.
Yeah.
Right? So inside the cap there, we were just in. What if you're in a crater, like you have to think like this, where is it logical somebody's gonna run? Like doorways, ammo crates, shell craters, trenches. So as soon as you get into that point and you have a time to do it, place your trap. You know, it's free, it takes 2 seconds and it's free kills. So you have to remember, let's say everybody places 2 traps in the game, right? And you get half the trap kills. That's 30 tickets.
Yep.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 30 tickets. So
in total, yeah. It is.
So, Charlie.
Quite a lot.
Can I just a quick question about Bravo?
Yeah.
You said you would not recommend having anyone sitting underground, except for maybe
one squad leader if you're the US.
Yeah, the commander and the radio, and let the radio be squad lead.
So, for example, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Because it's not like you don't wanna limit yourself. Like you wanna spread out your cards.
Yeah,
right?
not have the entire team down there unless you obviously just ambushed in there. But
and I would never ambush in a closed, confined area. I would always try and ambush in the open, because people can get away.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're caught down there, right?
Even if you were attacking, I'm sorry if for everyone. Even if you're attacking SVC, you manage to get down there.
Of course you can do it, but I would much rather prefer ambushing up on top.
All right.
Because your guys are in the open, you can actually maneuver. You have an option. Like, you know, like you have options. If you spawn down there, you have one option that is either standing or running upstairs.
Well, I think what we do is...
No, it's alright, you started.
Well, we're going to say often what I do is I'll go in the tunnel and ambush, but then I'll drop artillery on the point, so then I know everyone above ground will die.
That's a perfectly fine. I'm just saying I don't prefer it because it's too risky. Much prefer spawning up on top because people can react and you can actually move. Okay, on this point, interesting. I would never recommend, like you see a lot of people, then they just stand right here in these on these sandbags and shoot right here, right? Yeah. Like this is just suicide, fucking. You know, this is just burning tickets. There's no point. Perhaps have one guy up here, one guy at the front wall, where you need to be if you want to defend the front, right? You need to be up at the trees here. Again, look at this, how you can look. If you stand up here, like how difficult it is for the enemy to spot you, right?
Yeah.
So I would be defending from up here at the front, because standing down here, you're just asking to get killed by rifle grenades, by RPGs, by hand grenades, all that stuff. So get away from there. Squad leaders.
So hide and camp.
Yeah, but just stand here, move, cover the left and the right side of the tree, and just shoot the people coming at you. You don't have to camp, you just have to guard an area and make sure to spread out. On this map, what people like to do, I'm going to show you where you guys that are up on the roof, try and stay up there. I'm going to show you something guys here. So what the experienced people will do when they play, they will go all the way down to the river because there's cover down there. So people will put tunnels this far out, right? And then you will cut in. So just see what happens here when I come up here. If you can see the guys up on the roof, right here. So as soon as you come to right here, you can just start shooting all the guys up on the roof. Can you see it?
No.
So you follow the river, and then you cut in, and as soon as you cut in right here, bam, 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 bam. So I'm standing right here. I could kill everybody on the roof in 2 seconds right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this
when
is
you
what
go when you go on your side more on the right, then there is a little gap where you can
indeed.
watch through over the river.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you are a sniper, try to sit there on the other side of the river, and you
Yeah.
can shoot the guys on the roof.
So
as well.
what people do, and then to counter this, you need to have a squad out here, if that makes sense, right? You need to have a squad out here that can actually start shooting down people coming up this way. Either as VC or US, you need to have people out here that can try and stop these guys. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So that's super important, this side.
About the other side.
The other side, yeah. This is an interesting side. Normally, I would say that B point is a point that shouldn't be defended. A point really shouldn't be defended. B point is fine to defend. C point is such a clusterfuck. Because so many people are going to get killed by the arty and everything. So there's really no point in defending it. I would maximum defend it for like 2-3 minutes. I have a rule on Georgina. If the attacking team is ahead with more than 120 tickets, then you're in trouble. If the defending team is closer than 100 tickets, then it's doing super well for the defenders. That's a rule of thumb you have to remember. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if the attacking team is ahead by more than 120, then you're in trouble. You need, as the defenders, you need to be less than 100 behind. So if you press F1 right now, you can kind of see the tickets, right? That's about 100. Okay? This is how you want to keep it. You want to keep 100. And the reason why I say that is, if you keep it below 100, or around 100, then you're fine for the defense on the last point, because that's going to bleed a shit ton of tickets. So out here, it's such a clusterfuck. So I would just place tunnels wherever, and then try and come in and flank the people out here. Also, of course, put traps in the underground. People are always going to come through the underground, right?
Would be nice to ambush here.
This is a good place to ambush. Yeah. But always coordinate with the ambush. Super important thing, guys, for the artillery. Everybody I know puts the artillery too close. I'm going to show you. I'm going to run with my characters to where you need to put the artimac. The artimax needs to be in the river. Basically around here. Because otherwise, the cap zone is so small, right? That if you put it any closer, then you're going to kill everybody at the front of the cap. Make sense? So you want to put it...
From where do you get this mark?
You just run up and get it.
Usually I get it from the left side of Charlie.
Yeah, you get it from the left.
Run outside combat area, and then you, instead of using binoculars, you press B and then use the button.
You can just use F or put it on the tree here, the big tree house. So you want to put it between the river and here, because otherwise you're going to kill everybody at the front of the cap, and that's useless. Okay, let's cap C and move on.
9 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, the arty down here is just... And I have a thing with arty as commander. Drop it when you have it. That's my slogan as commander. So some people are like, oh, I'm going to wait with the stuff. I always drop whatever I have when I have it. And why do you think I do that?
You have more arty.
Yeah, to get as many arty strikes as possible. Yeah?
I don't do a recon first, just
never,
to see... No?
Never.
Okay.
Because I
need to know where they are.
I know where people are. Like, if you played this long enough, you know, on C, like, there's no doubt where people are. They're always going to be close to the cap, so you drop it behind the cap.
But you can also, on the map as commander, see where people are dying the most, your own teammates.
Yeah.
That'll give you an indication of what flank, what direction people are coming from.
Exactly. So that's quite easy.
And there's another aspect. It's not always about the kills. It's also about blocking the enemy from accessing the point, right?
Exactly.
And also Americans destroying tunnels.
So on D point here, I would never really defend it. Like, there's no point in defending it. What you can do is, if people, like when you're attacking this point, never lie down. Because if people lie down, you can just see how fast people show up. Like people come running, and then they just merge out of the grass, right? So what you want to do, either attacking or defending this map, in this point, you want to keep moving all the time, searching for those guys lying down. So you just want to keep moving, searching. Okay?
Yeah.
Pretty simple point. You just drop the arty at the back and just go in and take it. Of course, watch both flanks. This point is pretty simple. Okay, let's move on. And it's always important for the commander to keep an eye on the tickets. Yeah, just cap the. Let's just cap the point. So capping, like keep an eye on the tickets, making sure you're close to that 100 mark. If you're getting, as the defenders, if you're getting close to that 100 mark, you need to start falling back. Like you get above the 100 mark, you need to start falling back.
Falling back to the last point already, or just to the next point?
Like I want to show you Echo. Echo is the most underestimated point. So I want to show you something that's super important here. One squad. This is down here. I call it the River House or the Echo House. This house right here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you something. You know that people sometimes try and cap the point by standing up here by the walls up here, right? If you look up there. So if you stand right in here and lean up against the door here, you can shoot anybody. Try and go in there and stand in the doorway. You can basically shoot anybody. You see that?
Yep.
Also down here by this tree, guys, super important place. Just stand down here, lean up against the tree. You can just blast anybody. Use this tree as cover and lean up against the tree. You can just shoot anybody.
Is that outside combat area for defenders?
No. That's inside.
The house definitely not. The bush, I don't know.
No. Right here is not. It's
not.
It's not. You can just shoot anybody. Yep. So when defending this map, you need to have somebody standing right down there and probably somebody in the house. That would be smart. Then you need to control the waterfall. So how you do this, when people defend this point, they do it wrong. People defend it from the back buildings. You need to defend it from the front buildings. So for example, having somebody standing right here, you know, popping up, shooting people, popping down, you know, moving around the waterfall here. Super nice position. You can shoot people up on the rocks, right? You don't want to stand on top of the rocks, but you can shoot people from this area. Okay? Squad leaders, probably a good idea there in the back buildings. But infantry, push up to the front. I want to show you something as well. If you lie down here, like this, you can actually shoot people standing. Somebody try and go in front of the building. You can actually see people on the front here. So if you lie here where I'm lying, you can actually shoot people running up there. Super powerful spots. Do you see it?
But can you shoot?
You can turn that around as well, right? If you're crouched here, I can see all of you.
Yeah. But who's gonna notice that? Who's gonna see me first? Like if I'm, especially over here in the next house, guys. Super nice spot right here. You just blast them through there.
One question.
Yeah.
Or squad lead, not squad leader, scouts. If they get smoke, can they smoke the woods?
Defenders, squad leaders.
No, squad leaders, scouts.
Oh, scout. Oh, yeah. So they can throw smoke.
Yeah, they come from out the smoke. They can see you. You can see them first.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. So this is super good. Also, guys, probably the most important position up here is the waterfall, and this is this position up here. So you want to keep this up here. So you want to have a squad leader or tunnels in the trees back here, because then you can control the slope here. Right? So you can just, if you stand up here, you can basically see everybody running down there on the slopes. So all the way over here, there's a bunch of trees. Super important defense position. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So out here, have people out here on the sides, and like, if I were you, when I'm planning a battle, I would have somebody dedicated to the left side and somebody dedicated to the right side. Yeah. Okay, so people know if I get killed here, I go back to the same place. Okay. Oh, 3 minutes. So I need to. Can we cap that so we can speed it up?
Yeah. Personally, for you, would you ever send people up the ridge in D5 and C5?
Yeah, that's where I want to go next. That's a super important thing as well. So as defending this point and attacking it, you need to try and control the hillside.
Yeah.
So when defending the hillside up here, both as attackers and defenders, I want to show you this rock up here. I know we have time issues, but
we'll reset after this, so we should be able to do
okay, yeah. So right here, you can basically shoot anybody running into the cap zone from the back. So that's why as attackers, you want somebody up here. If you can see that from these rocks here, right?
Yeah.
You can just shoot anybody running in. So so that's why it's important both for the defenders and the attackers to control this. So I always like a couple of good machine gunners up on the hillside there, up on the bunkers or something like that. Okay, attacking F. When you get to F, that's such a filthy point. Because there's so much you can do. So you know about blasting the sandbags.
Yeah.
Maybe have an RPG just demonstrate it once.
Yeah, I think it's just RPGs. You just yeah.
Oh,
there you go. So there is a hole in the wall.
Can rifle grenades do it as well or not?
I'm actually not sure with the rifle grenades. I think so, perhaps.
Okay, but we don't get any rifles.
No, not C4.
No, we don't.
So in here, guys, if you look at the ammo, the big ammo bunker up here, this is probably the most important TL spot, both for VC and US.
Yes.
Basically, stand in here. You know, you're totally impervious to RT, and this is a good spot to force respawn people.
Yeah.
Because, why? Do you think?
You cover entrance and
you're
you
in the
are...
middle of the point. You can spread everyone.
and there's two exits. There's two exits, so they can run out both ends. So that's quite snazzy, and that nobody can get you in here, and you can basically stand in here and defend yourself forever, until you know. So this is a point that I really enjoy defending like this. Then I want to show you. Oh, okay, it's resetting here, so we can just run back here. One thing I would watch out with is having too many people up in the tower, because that is just a big shoot me in the head thing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a good also RPG
yeah.
hotspot.
I haven't had much success with it.
No. So I want to show you a trick you can do if you actually want to use the tower. There's actually a trick to do it. Okay.
Which tower?
Hey. Up in F. The both of them.
We won.
Both of them, alright.
Easy.
Both towers are basically a death trap, to be honest.
Yeah, but that depends on how you do it.
Well, as long if you stay on the tower and you watch on the back, like where the ladder is, okay, no problem, and you are sitting down. But if you stand up, you're basically.
But I can show you what you can do to actually avoid getting cocked on it. Okay. You know. Yeah, we better...
Just run straight to Foxtrot?
Yeah, just run straight to Foxtrot, yeah. Fuck the...
Foxtrot.
Charge. Speed run. We might be able to beat our record.
Ale, who's first?
Anthony, I have a question.
Yeah.
On Echo, you say that holding the waterfall on the west side is quite important, including the houses and the tree.
Yeah.
How do you deal with it if you have people on the other hill, more to the west, shooting at you in the back? Because say you're a squad leader sitting next to the waterfall, just sitting there.
Yeah, but that's why you need to have somebody from your own team contesting the same hill.
Yeah.
So you don't actually, as a squad leader, you probably don't want to be sitting at the waterfall. You perhaps want to be sitting in one of the huts or close to one of the huts. But it's just as a principle, like you don't want to defend the point from the back. You always want to defend the point from the front. That's kind of my perspective. And also, if the enemy starts throwing hand grenades, what does that mean? Anybody has a guess on that?
Close.
Yeah, and what does that mean?
You can throw back.
Exactly. So again, as I talk about your immediate action drill, if somebody throws hand grenades at you, you throw hand grenades back. If somebody starts capping the point, what does that mean? You can throw hand grenades at them.
Yeah.
So you should just have this thing, especially when you're defending. The first thing you do, you spawn, and you throw your hand grenades. Like, there's no reason to think about it. There's no reason to... You just quickly check your map, any friendly in front of me. If there's no friendly in front of you, just throw your hand grenades. You know, it's 3 kills. There's no reason to save your hand grenades, if that makes sense, right? So if you're in a safe position where you can do it without... You always have to think, when you're using hand grenades, you always have to think, if I get shot in the head right now, is that gonna mean that all my teammates are gonna suffer and I'm gonna kill my squad leader? So that's why make sure you're away from your squad leader. The first thing I want to cover is people talked about the towers. So I'm just gonna crawl up in the tower here. What you don't want to do when using a tower, you don't want to stand out here and shooting at the people running up the hill, because you're just gonna get shot in the head, right?
Yes.
So what you want to do? What you want to do?
Right.
Yes, you can. For example, if I stand here, look at this. If I stand over here, then I can actually defend the sandbags and the woods down here, but they can't see me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So you don't want to be standing here. You most definitely you can kind of stand here and defend the backside of the cap here, but you know, does that make sense? So make sure you angle yourself. Don't stand up here, be a fucking target, but angle yourself so you can defend the backside. Okay?
Yeah, I always like to take some hand grenades with me as well, because you can, from there you can throw them over the sandbags.
Yeah, let's go down again.
Don't cap echo so we can move around Foxtrot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, also defending F, actually this mid-size simple, but standing right here is actually quite powerful. Standing in the sandbags here, standing on the steps. If somebody's trying to crawl up, so if you're not that good of a rifleman, you don't want to run around too much, just take a position right here and just stand here and shoot anybody that pops over the wall. Right here, you just bang, 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 shoot that guy as he comes across. Okay? Also right here, for example, where everybody likes to come across, right up here. Everybody likes to come across right here. So if you want to defend that corner, I guarantee you're gonna get at least 25 kills if you just stand, for example, right here on this corner where I am crouching and just shooting anybody that comes across right there.
I can see.
So you're right down here in the right here, because how many times have you guys crawled over where those two guys are standing right now? Like people like to do, people like to run up to the sandbag house or the bunker and then crawl across right here and then run in. So if you stand down here, you can kill them all day long. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, I'm gonna show you first of all the right-hand side here. This side is super important to defend, so you always need to either have a squad leader or a tunnel down here.
Yep. Because they always flank from here.
They always flank from here. And I want to show you a spot. My favorite spot.
The front bunker from here.
Yeah.
Bunker.
My favorite spot in the world is right this tree here. This is my personal tree. Try and come over here and then look at the guy up at the bunker. How many people? People always run up to the bunkers, right? So just if you sit here in this bush here, you can shoot them all because they're silhouetted. So my spot right there up against the tree, you can basically gun them all down because they're gonna be running from that rock up there, and then they're gonna be running up to the bunker.
Also, here's grass, and when I lay down, you can still see me here.
Yeah. So do you guys see that? So this spot right here, and basically all the trees down here, super good to have a guy down here or guys down here shooting at them coming up, but also because you could defend your right flank. So this side must never be given up. You always need to have somebody out here because you can get a shit ton of kills. Okay?
That was exactly the tree when I had the 110 kills on Firebase.
You can have you can see a lot of them on the other side when you're also on the other flank.
That's the next defensive point. So the rocks up here, it's always good to be out in front of the objective, guys. There's never anything wrong by defending the point out in front. So I'm going to show you the other side as well. If you ever experience playing against Gülle, you guys probably have, and Skarke and those guys, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah. When they're defending, they use these rocks out here.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people here.
So for
That's
example...
a Henry rock, I call it.
Yeah, so for example, right here, shooting everybody running up the slope. Bang, 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 bang. Or you can run...
Make sure when you stay behind that rock, you stand like here. Because if you pop your head out a bit, like from this position, you're getting sniped.
But also, if you run further down the hill, right here, you know, all these rocks down here, so the flanks are super important. So also, you always need to have a squad on each tunnel, or a squad leader or a tunnel on each flank here. Because what can happen is...
But only one squad on each flank? Or
yeah, of course, depending on how good the people are. If you think, oh... these squads needs more help, you can perhaps have 1.5 squad, but you don't want to leave the cap zone undefended, because what happens if you have 2 squads on each flank and 2 squads or 3 squads on the point, and the enemy goes up and force respawns, then there's a long way to run to get up there. So I would make sure to have one squad perhaps, and a couple of guys, perhaps, you know, something like that, depending on how you would like to play it. So this side is super important as well, because the attackers cannot cross this road right here. So when you're defending this, the attackers cannot cross this road. So if you as a defender, you can also use this rock if you want to fuck up Henry, for example. Work out from this rock, put your tunnel behind this rock as the defenders, and then push up from here, because, you know, then you're gonna suddenly show up here and start shooting people trying to run into the point. Okay? So this is kind of a two-way defense. You can defend from the rock, you can defend down from the forest. And also, when you're doing something, right, guys, it's super important to think about it. Is this giving me positive or negative? So if you're running to a position and you keep running to the position and you're getting killed every time, then it's negative, right? So you need to think about, is the position positive or negative for us as a team? Okay? So if you're doing something, you're getting killed every time, then it's probably a good idea to start thinking about doing something new.
Improvise.
Yeah, just start doing something else. If everything is going wrong, you can always adjust the plan and do something different.
What I always do in that case is like I have the rule of 2. If I do it 2 times and it don't work, I would try something else.
Yeah. So also, when you get into an objective, right? The most important rule of getting into the objective. Let's say we are attacking right now, right? So we're running up the hill to get into the objective. What do you think as a US right now, right? And I jump over the sandbags here. What is important to me?
To have a guy already ready to aim for the sandbags.
Yeah,
because they're defenseless by climbing over.
Yeah, let's say that I come over here. I'm attacker right now. What is important for me? That is to make room in the objective. So if I get into the objective right now and I lie down right here, what does that do?
Cut off a spawn.
That does nothing, right? Because the next guy that comes across here and lies down, you know, then we control, how much do we control? 2 meters of the cap zone. So what you need to do, as soon as you come to into the cap zone, you need to exploit the cap zone. That means you need to push forward and actually try and gain some terrain in the cap. So what I would, for example, say is, hey, okay, I'm a US attacker right now. Where does the VC usually hide? They either hide down there in the bunkers, for example. So I could either choose to go right up here, start running right up here, and then just jump in, shoot those guys in there, and then just shooting people up along the sandbags here. But that's probably gonna get me killed by the guys spawning at the back. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's an option. But what you also could do is, instead of running to the front where you're gonna get killed, you could say, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna go this way instead. Perhaps kill the guy jumping over the backs and then going in here. How often is somebody sitting in here in the ammo room, right?
Always.
So you're killing somebody in ammo room, you shoot that guy, then you don't run out the front door. Why? Because there's gonna be a bunch of guys out here. No, you run back out the back door, and then you run into the next room here. And there's perhaps a squad leader in here. You kill him. And then instead of running to the front, no, you run into cafeteria. How often are the people in the cafeteria?
Always.
Always. You shoot those guys. Bang, bang. You come in the back here. And then you can start moving your way forward, for example. Do you see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
When you get
expect you there.
Yeah, when you get into the point, start making room in the point. Start making room for the next guy coming in. Never lie down. Never be passive. Push forward and try and kill the guys. You have the advantage. You have the surprise of getting in there. So that's kind of what I want to say. You get in, you kill as many as you can. You keep moving. You never stop. You keep moving. And just keep clearing the point. And then you tell your teammates, hey, I'm in. I'm clearing them out. Because then everybody knows now's the time to push. Okay. We can do this. Okay?
Okay.
That's kind of I find that is super important when you're doing something like this. That is your willingness to actually get something done and actually exploit the objective. Because that's last time you played, what I saw is Frank did a really good job of force respawn you guys. But then two things happened when you force respawned Frank, and Frank's force respawned you. Yeah. First of all, you just stopped and you lied down next to Frank. You threw smoke grenades. What's smoke grenades gonna do?
Block your vision.
Attract fire.
A lot of attention. Yeah. So throw the smoke grenades, that's good enough, but then you need to use the smoke grenades to move. So it's always fine to throw your smoke grenades all you want, but then you also have to move. Because if you do that where you just lie down next to Frank, then it's gonna happen like it did in the last game, that somebody's just gonna fucking come up and throw a phosphorus at you and it's gonna kill everybody. Again, the phosphorus can't kill you if you're not there. So just, you can never do anything wrong by actually trying to exploit the cap and actually start moving inside the cap and killing the enemy. So that's kind of where it is for me on this. On this map, control the flanks, but don't over-invest in the flanks and always keep an eye on the tickets. Always keep an eye, and that golden number is if you're starting to close up at the enemies 120 tickets in front of you as defenders, then you need to start falling back. There's also the whole aspect that you can actually bleed the enemy tickets out. Let's say you get to this objective, right? And the defenders is 200 tickets or 100 tickets ahead, so the attackers are behind tickets. Like as I always say, if you're winning, then you're winning. If you're losing, then you're losing. So if you don't think you can actually power your way through the objective, it's always, as I see it, a good option to hang back and then start dropping RT on the point and just hanging back and sniping. Because what you're going to be seeing here, if you run out to this bunker, I always, when I play a game, if you want to get kills, you just take a sniper rifle and just look at this bunker over here. Because there's always like 1,000 people standing in here and shooting. And that doesn't work. I would never use this bunker. It's just RPG bait, if that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's much better. It's much better. For example, if you want to defend this bunker, it's much better standing out here on the side of it. Yeah. For example. Because then you can back off and it's much more difficult for the RPGs to get you. So let's say the attackers, it's a super good idea just to hang back and try and bleed the enemy tickets. You're familiar with that concept, right? That instead of attacking the objective, you just hang back and you just drop all your fire support, because you know as the US, you have more fire support, you have the force deploy, you have all that stuff that can actually try and turn the tickets around. So when you attack this, you have to look at the tickets, first of all. How's the ticket looking? You also have to look at the time. Okay, so if you have 10 minutes to attack this point, that's plenty of time to actually try and bleed the enemy tickets a bit, if you can. So that's the different options for it. And also, most important rule, when you get force respawned, as I already said that, move away. Because as we're standing right now, that's perhaps how you're gonna get force respawned, right? So we're standing here, force respawned. If everybody just lies down right now, try and lie down, everybody here. Then somebody try and throw a hand grenade at us. Yeah, there comes the hand grenade. Just lie still. Lie still, see what happens.
Oh, fuck.
So did you just see what happened there? That's the force respawn. Gone.
Bye-bye.
So, you see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So that's just my point. Like, you need to be like racehorses. When you get force respawns, it's like fucking putting mustard up your ass. Like, you just need to move instantly. And just, like, punch the bell and just get in the fight. Okay? Any questions on this point here?
Attackers, Artimarks.
Oh, yes,
Would you recommend at the back of the point, or all the way at the back, back on the tunnels?
No, at the back, at that back building, whatever you can get. Like, basically, it's just about slamming the backside of the objective.
All right.
I would just keep and remember, as a, you know, honestly, I never use Recon, and I just drop it when I got it.
Yeah.
Because I want to get as many arty strikes, I want to get as many phosphorus, napalms, and spookies in as possible, and I never use Recon because if I'm an experienced player, I know where the enemies are. Like, it's not like hide and seek. You kind of know where they are. Either, you know, and you work with your squad. You say, hey, okay, we're attacking the right flank. So make sure to communicate, hey, I just got killed by a guy in the ammo bunker. Okay, then you know that you need to go to the ammo bunker, right? And take care of that.
Do you never use Recon or just not for RT?
Never really. Unless for example I'm bleeding. Unless I want to help the team by for example bleeding tickets. So I want to help the team figure out where the enemy are. But for RT I don't. Like, if I only use Recon if I have a specific purpose for it. So I want to show the team where the enemies are.
Just keep it if you have it. Not even call it in.
No. Just you know, if it makes sense, if you like to show your team where the enemies are, but you always have to calculate. Okay, if I stand by the radio for a minute, could I have been more effective somewhere else? Right. So if, let's say you have a commander that usually gets 20 kills with the rifle, right? And he stands by the radio and calls in 5 recons, and that lasts a minute, right? That's 5 minutes he's out of the fight. So you always have to calculate, does it make us more or less effective? And you also have to remember the recon is always delayed, right? So there's like a 15 to 30 second delay.
Yeah.
So where you see somebody are on the recon is not necessarily where they actually are in the game. So it's not like a radar, right? It doesn't tell you exactly. So
tell you where they're moving.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be moving. For the VC, it might be a bit different because their scouts is a lot more effective. So I'm perhaps inclined to use the scout a bit more. For example, if there's a super difficult squad to kill somewhere on the map, right? And they say, hey, that squad on the right flank is super difficult to kill. I might give them some scouts to try and figure out where's the enemy hiding. Or if, for example, if there's enemy behind our lines.
What is your take on actually baiting the enemy AA by cancelling the spooky?
Never.
Never?
Never fake a spook?
Never. I've never done it. It's the worst, in my opinion, the worst thing you can do. Why do you think it's the worst thing you can do?
A waste of time, takes too much time.
Yeah. It's wasting the spooky's time and it's wasting your time. So instead of you could be up killing enemies for your team, you're sitting by the radio fiddling with buttons. So you always have to calculate, is it more effective?
So, but before calling in any support, except for RT, obviously, would you then what's it called? Send in a recon to see if there's an AA?
No.
No. So
I would rather take the punishment and then just call it in a bit later.
All right.
What's your opinion about fake spooky?
I would never do it. Never do it because it's pointless. Like, okay, if I do a fake spooky, right, it takes a minute for the spooky to come back or something like that, right?
Minute 45, I think.
Yeah. So I just wasted a minute 45 where I could be doing something different. So what's the, like, if the spooky gets shut down, it's about the same time for it to come back. So it's just like, I would much rather have the chance that the spooky's actually out there shooting at people and then me running up. Because you have to remember, you as the commander have smoke grenades as well, right? So you're wasting valuable time defending. Like, actually, you're wasting time not actually doing something as a commander where you could be up fighting. So just ask any question, guys. There's no stupid question.
What's your opinion on when you're attacking as the US and you have squad, then they get killed?
Yeah.
Hand grenades thrown in.
Yes,
what I've
exactly.
also seen is if you have squad leaders sitting outside, covering the entrance, it seemed to be more effective.
So the squad leader's job is what? You always have to look at what is your key assignment is spawning. So
stay alive.
So no, your key assignment is spawning, and you need to be alive to spawn people in. So as a squad leader, you're responsible to get as close to the objective as reasonable. Okay? That's the nuance in this, that you need to get as close to the objective as reasonable, where you can reasonably stay alive and reasonably spawn in your team. And then it's super important. My other lesson is get away from the squad leader. Never stay anywhere close to the squad leader. Get away from him.
So you would say that, say I'm squad leader on the right flank. I capture the right flank, and I'm just staying there while the rest of my squad moves to the cap.
Yeah, so you would stay...
That's better than the whole squad moving to the cap and you losing the right flank.
Yeah, exactly. So let's say that the enemy's capping the point, you might have to move. That's always a choice. That might be a choice. You have to move. But as...
you have to pay the price. If
you have to evaluate, can my squad handle it, or do I have to go help them?
Because as a VC squad leader, you put your tunnel down and everybody
then you just
But if you're a US squad leader,
so as a US squad leader, you just need to be the base. You just need to be the solid rock that just stays alive somewhere and just like fucking works the enemy down. So
I've got one question, if I may.
Of course.
In my opinion, ambush ability is one of the strongest abilities of the commander, and we observed in the past that, for example, you can also use it as a US commander via using the radio man as squad leaders. So you have constant ambushes. I don't know. I'm just curious if you had any experience with in that context.
Yeah. So what you have to remember is that in the game is not working as intended. The VC ambush deploy is supposed to spawn everybody at the price of one ticket, right? So when the VC commander presses N on his keyboard, everybody spawns in that is dead, right? And it costs one ticket. As the US, it is actually, you have a bit of a trick because Tripwire fucked up or the game broke. So when you are, when the squad American commander presses N, the force respawn button, then it spawns everybody that is dead either at the main spawn or at the squad leader, and it only costs them one ticket as well. I don't know if you guys knew this.
It happened quite a bit.
Yeah, so the US command, so that ability is broken, and you of course as the US commander needs to use that and force people in. But I think it's an excellent idea, for example, having the squad leaders as radio men for example, if you want that because they get the extra smoke grenades. But the disadvantage of that is that sometimes the US commander needs to use the squad leader or use the radio man. I would say I almost never use my radio man if I don't have to. Because I would much rather have the radio man out in the fight. That's why I said before, the radio man should never follow the commander.
Say if you have 2 or 3 radio men, you can have 2 or 3 squad leaders with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they have one dedicated one.
But
really, like on maps like Saigon doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make that much sense because, it depends on what people want to do. Like it's a novel idea. It's a good idea. And if people like using it, you should use it. I don't think it's that crucial. What I think is crucial on the other hand is never, like, I don't know how many times I've spotted the commander because he's being followed by 2 radio men.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't make it easy for the enemy to spot you like that.
As a VC commander, you're suggesting to move around or just stay in one safe spot?
Depends. If you're attacking, you need to be attacking and getting in the fight and using your... Like, when the VC commander has used his abilities, then he's just a normal rifleman, right? There's nothing more he can do, right?
About defending more.
Defending, right? Your responsibility as the VC commander is to use your abilities and stay alive in the cap so you can force respawn people, for example, to save tickets.
So just stay close. But
yeah, but you need to fight as well. There's no reason not to. Like, it depends on the point. It depends on the context. If you're a really good shooter, get out and get the kills. It's not crucial that you stay alive in the point. It's only crucial if you stay alive in the point if you're gonna force respawn people in. And have to remember, you can force respawn even if you're dead, right? So everybody just gets force respawned at the main spawn. You guys seen that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can do something like that as well. That is also a thing.
What is your take on using which factions would you use at which stages of the war? When you use North Vietnamese, when you use Viet Cong, and so on.
In campaign?
I always use Viet Cong.
Yeah.
Because of the Mass 49.
Yeah.
I never. If you guys want some, I don't know if you've seen, but on my YouTube channel, I have a video about the force respawn ability called I think it's called the best weapon of RS2 or something like that.
Actually, I saw that one.
So I have a video where I explain that on it. I also got a weapons customization video where I talk about some of the weapons, and most of those weapons are actually VC weapons.
Yeah.
Especially the Mass 49. That is by far the best gun.
Yes.
Right. True.
So most always one shot, one kill.
Yeah, and it's just the aim down sight speed is also significantly faster. So I would always go VC, and of course,
and more weapons to choose from.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, basically you can get the Mass 49.
Yeah, and the better RT because it has a larger radius.
Yeah, I'm not that. It doesn't matter that much to me about the RT, the size of the RT. I just drop it, and then that's it. It's just.
Okay.
And what about NFL, Pawn, Arvin, US Army, Marines?
Yeah, but as I say, I always go Pawn, always go VC.
All right.
For that.
And American?
On the Americans, of course, objectively, the FAL is the best gun in the game.
Yes.
And there's no if or which or whatever about it. Just that and the Mass is the best. So
yeah.
So that's a superior faction, and I have a tendency to like Starvin Arvin because of the Garand, just because I like the gun. So as the US, of course, is a great faction because you get the flamethrowers, you get all that good nice stuff. So of course US Army is a power faction, but that's closely followed by the Australians.
Yeah, thanks for the answer.
So yeah, I like I always say, a gun is a gun is a gun. And a thing I would like to say as well, I would highly recommend not using snipers as well. Because what does a sniper do? he lies back and shoots. Like, why can't he just be a rifleman and be up front and shoot?
Yeah, Phil.
Sorry.
Do you know what I mean? Like, in this game, a gun is a gun. You can see anybody. Like, it's not like you're shooting at a kilometer. Like, you can basically see anybody. And what is better? Having a guy lying 100 meters behind, shooting 5 guys, or actually having somebody up in the cap helping capping that shoots 3 guys?
But a sniper with 60 kills is okay.
Yeah, but compared to what?
Still trying to save his job here.
It's sensitives.
Yeah,
that's why I always snipe aggressively in front.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, if you snipe aggressively in front of the point, why not just have a regular gun? Why not just have an M16? You can do exactly the same thing with the M16. But the reason why I'm saying it is that sometimes the snipers have a tendency to be too passive. That means if you're trying to cap a cap zone, you have somebody lying back there not doing anything.
Yeah, that's why I always try to, when I play as a sniper, that I always try to put on the flanks, that I try to cut off their spawns and something like that. Or, for example, when I lie on Firebase on Georgina, it's like, for me, a perfect place to sit back on Charlie after we capped it.
Yeah.
And just to get fire on that hill, because all the times I have 60 plus kills there.
Yeah, but that's fine, man. I totally respect that. I'm just saying you have to be cognitive of, is it making sense what we're doing? Is it like, or then all of a sudden you have 3 guys playing sniper hiding back at C, and then the enemy caps the point because there's nobody.
That of course makes no sense. But for example, when you play Mekong, after we took Alpha, I always try to get with the sniper on the left or right flank to just cut off the spawns, and then I'm way more effective than just laying behind.
Yeah. So what if it makes sense to you, then you should do it. I'm just saying that you need to be hyper aware that could it be more effective actually defending the point.
Yeah.
What is your take on the camouflage in game?
I've
seen quite a bunch that I'm like.
Yeah, I would say there's a huge advantage in, for example, not having the white shirt on.
Yeah.
Because
that's the big one.
not like, for example, not being bare chested, not having the shirt on.
Oh, it screams like shoot me.
Yeah, it's like and of course as the VC, never wear the boonie hat as the VC.
Agreed.
Because that looks like the American boonie hat, so the chance of you getting team killed is a lot higher.
Yeah.
So that's an advice I can give. For the camouflage.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Maybe Thursday we can do it in practice.
Yeah.
Maybe we can set up another appointment with you, Sir Anthony.
Thursday, when? At what time?
Or you can join us Thursday in the practice, or 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or you can come next week, Tuesday again.
Yeah, I just have to look at my calendar because it's quite crazy at work. So I just have to look at it. But yeah, it would be we can talk about it again at some point. Like we can try and have a look at it, and you can try it next Thursday, and then we can talk about it, how it actually went, and if it makes sense to you, because it's like, I can just sit here and talk out of my ass about this game for hours, but it has to be something that you guys can take home and actually use.
Yeah.
Because you like, I saw your game, you're not bad players. It's just some of the decisions, in my opinion, could have been better. Like there's something you have more potential, I would say.
Yeah.
What we could do
is very friendly way of putting it. I'm sorry, Sam, I cut you off.
We split up into 2 groups. We play a match on Firebase. We have Anthony spectating again, commentating, and then after that match we can review it with him. And also give names of squad leaders, important players. So when he's looking at them, the admin tool doesn't really show you who's a squad leader.
Or we can, just for exercise purpose, we can go together and try to do it.
I'm afraid it's going to be too much of a steamroll, to be honest.
Yeah, but you could just. I think.
Doesn't matter.
Like I think you should go and practice this. Like this is not about. You can always practice it like individual. Every time you play Firebase, say, hey, I'm gonna try and be a squad leader on the right flank this time and hold that. Oh, next time I'm gonna try being a squad leader in front of the objective, or like close to the objective, or next time on the left, or whatever. So you kind of, you kind of practice this, and the whole thing about, hey, I'm in an objective now. Oh, I'm gonna try and clear the objective. Oh, okay, let's go, and try and do that.
And I can do a demo recording. We can always play it back for.
Yeah, and we can just
and I can show it to you too. Huh?
Yeah, for me it's not important actually seeing you guys. For me it's important listening to you guys and hearing your experience, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you feel like you're getting better, feel like you're getting something out of it, then that's what makes sense actually to it. And for squad leader references and those stuff, I actually have a playlist, I think, on my YouTube channel with like commander videos and squad leader videos and some of that stuff. So there is some of it like in there. There is a couple of maps on Georgina, like games on Georgina where, I defend F from the bunker, for example, as commander, and try and do some of that stuff where you can kind of see it. I'm doing what I'm talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's good.
Quick, completely unrelated question. What's your favorite Scandinavian country?
It's definitely not the Swedes, I must say.
Good. Take it your Dana as well.
Mm-hmm. Ja, selvfølgelig.
Ja, fedt.
No. Yeah.
No.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah. Just because I can talk to the ladies without
dangerous territory.
Yeah.
No. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really be
cool thank you so much.
You could give us some feedback on
so how much we owe you
playing when we did the practice.
Yeah. Of course, we can figure it out what we're gonna do and how.
That would be cool.
All right. Well, thank you in any case for taking your time and helping us in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Yep. It's nice for you guys to reach out and yeah, let's do it again and so you guys can try and practice a bit and then we can have a look at it.
Yeah, indeed.
Thank
like afterwards or something. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great evening, guys.
Yeah,
man. See you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.